Hey everybody, welcome back to WASD 20. My name is Nate, and this is D&D FAQ, the series where I take some of the most frequently asked questions that have been asked in comments or on my website or just other places online and answer them. Today's question is, do I need miniatures or do I need a map? Alright, so this is a question that's asked quite often because a lot of people are coming to the hobby, especially newcomers, coming to the hobby thinking that it's kind of like a board game, right? And when you open the starter set and there's just some paper and dice, sometimes people get confused. They are used to those tactile elements of a board game, like little miniatures and tokens and a board, right? And when you don't have that, you kind of start to think, okay, what is this game? And I think that's good because it shows you that this is not a board game. This is very different from a board game. A tabletop role-playing game at its heart is a game in which the players narrate what they want to do and the DM tells them how that goes. And sometimes dice are used to determine the results of some of those things too. And that's really what it is. So you can do that without using miniatures, without using any sort of representation of the characters or the location all up here, right? We call that playing in the theater of the mind, playing without miniatures and a map. And I will say that in particular, 5th edition D&D is really designed from the ground up to allow for that very easily, to allow for play without any maps or miniatures. Previous editions, 3rd and 4th edition in particular, were pretty heavily based on maps and miniatures. Not that you couldn't play them without, but it was a little bit harder and the rules were more suited to playing with maps and miniatures. Now, let's say you do want to represent different locations and other things. I'll give you a couple different ways that we can play the game, still using something to represent positioning without actually having to go out and spend a lot of money on miniatures and battle mats and all that stuff. So one option is just to take miniatures or tokens of some kind like dice. Some people will use D4s to represent the bad guys and D6s to represent the player characters, or use coins or anything really. I recommend probably not using something edible because those tend to disappear somehow, but you want to represent player characters, you want to represent enemies, you got all kinds of stuff sitting around you can use. You can use crumpled up pieces of paper or cardboard. You could make your own miniatures out of cardboard. You can print off pictures and make little stands and all that stuff. There's a lot you can do without having to go out and spend a lot of money on miniatures. Likewise, the DM could just have a sheet of paper. Could be a sheet of graph paper, could just be a sheet of paper where they kind of draw a rough map, and people can just kind of point to where they are or where they want to go. Okay, I'm right here right now. The bad guys are over here. I want to sneak around behind them or whatever, and you can see positioning that way. And that's pretty easy, and a lot of people do that too. Some people will just use the table and dice and miniatures without any map or any mat of any kind, just to show positioning. Some people will use like a full-size map, but it won't have grids, and that can work just fine. You just kind of approximate movement, and it's a little more loose, and some people prefer that style of play. It's a little less tactical maybe, but you still do get a tactical element. Some people in playing without grids will even use little measuring sticks, so they have all these kind of preset measuring sticks for 20 or 30 feet. 30 feet is standard movement for a lot of characters, and then they can just kind of use these little things to, not have grids on the map, but still be fairly exact in measuring. And then, of course, you get the standard battle mat that is gridded, whether it's squares or hexes, and each square is 5 feet, and you stick to that pretty strictly. So that's another option if you want to get more tactical and get very precise in your approximation of locations. And then beyond that, people will even get into actual like built up terrain and all this stuff, and that can be really cool. So there's some really great terrain crafting channels out there that I like to watch, and some people get really into that. I love it. Personally, I don't have the room to store a lot of it, and I don't really enjoy making it all that much. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff out there if you want to get more of a realistic feel. Personally, I tend to stick to a battle mat maybe, or playing Theater of the Mind. So that's just my preferred style, or somewhere in between. When I'm playing online, I usually prefer Theater of the Mind, but if I'm playing at home, I often will get out a battle mat, especially at least for the battles and the fights. So to answer the question, do I need miniatures? Do I need a map? The answer obviously is no, you don't. And I encourage you to try the game without it. See how you like it. Some people just can't stand it. They just struggle to visualize location, and it's going to be a constant frustration for them. So just know that up front, that there might be a little bit of compromise. As I said in my last video, sometimes you need to compromise, come together and find, okay, what's going to work best for all of us here, and that process is probably going to involve a little bit of give and take. If you are looking to get a battle map, I have a video on it. I'll put it on the description below, how I made one on the cheap, but you can buy some other pretty good ones out there, and I'll put some links in the description to some that I like. And then in terms of miniatures, I usually get Reaper Bones. They're fairly inexpensive plastic miniatures, but Pathfinder Pawns are also great. And again, I'll put links to all this stuff in the description down below so you can check out how you can affordably get some miniatures if you want to go that route. Alright, that is all for this D&D FAQ. If you like this one, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, make sure you're subscribed and all that good stuff, and you'll see me again soon with more. Take care.